Hey guys, what's up? It's Adam with Big Daddy Unlimited, back again with another informational video. Today we're going to talk magazines. I know it seems kind of rudimentary, but we're going to go over some basics, life cycle, maybe some loading stuff for people that are just getting into it. But yeah, magazines are an important part of your entire system, whether it's a 5.56 AR, 300 blackout gun, bolt action, large frame AR-10, your 9mm sub guns, all the way down to your pistols. Magazines are the heart of what's feeding it and what's going to allow it to actually push bullets through the system. So as you can see in front of me, I got kind of a smorgasbord of different manufacturers, different platforms, what have you. Going from my right, your left, we're going to have some 5.56 magazines. These are all Magpul. I have actually 3 different kinds. They may all look the same on video, but they are 3 different generations. So we have a 300 blackout magazine, kind of a sidebar. If you run 300 blackout, yes, you can run them in 5.56 mags. It's preferable to run a 300 blackout specific mag. Both Lancer and Magpul make dedicated magazines in various capacities. These are in 30 rounders. But they changed some of the geometry on the inside and they actually widened it so I could run those bigger, fatter 220 grain bullets all the way without any kind of feeding problems. They will get kind of bound up in some of the older Gen 2s and the Gen 3s in 5.56. So yeah, if you run a 300 blackout, run magazine specific. I do. I always recommend it for people. They're the same cost. It's just, it makes your system more reliable. So 300 blackout mags, there's that. All right, moving up, Gen 2 P mags. The Gen 2s have been around for a very long time. They're super reliable. They come in a variety of colors. You can get them in green, black, tan. You can get them both windowed, which we'll talk about next, and non-window. Magazines are great. Priced really well. They work in everything. You very, very rarely will find a gun that has an issue with a PMag. So Gen 2s are really nice. The Gen 3s, as you've seen previously, have an over insertion tab. They have a dot matrix on the bottom so that way you can identify and number your magazines and a few other features. So Gen 3s, Gen 2s, Gen 2 window allows you to know how many rounds you have in the magazine. On the side of the mag, it's numbered and there'll be a painted part of the spring. So as you're cycling through ammo, you'll see that spring pop up and it'll be, corresponding number next to it, and that'll give you kind of a quick indicator. This one's upgraded with a mag pod. I really like these. It allows you to, put your magazine down and use it as a bipod or a monopod and give you a little bit more sturdy rest. So that's magazines in 5.56. Other great manufacturers, I would always recommend Lancer. They make great stuff. We sell a lot of them. I just don't have any within arm's reach to do this video, so that's why they're not here. We will show you their 308s and large frame ones next. Bumping over, we'll have AR-10, SR-25, large frame gas gun magazines. There's your Gen 3 Magpul. Great magazine, kind of the industry standard. With large frame guns, you'll see some of the older ones have M1A mags. With Knight's Armament standardizing the SR-25, everybody has adopted it, so they're all running SR-25 pattern magazines, which these are, as well as the Lancers. I like the Lancers a little bit more. You can get them in a variety of different colors. You can get them in translucent, you can get them in smoke, you can get them in black, and they have metal feed lips. I like it. Plastic has a tendency to crack over time. I've seen it. Does it happen all the time? Not particularly, but it does happen. Metal's a little bit harder to break. They also have a metal reinforced front, and they're straight as opposed to vertical, so they look a little bit cooler in your system. Both these you can get in 20 rounds or 10 rounders. Magpul makes them up into a 25, which is super rad for guys that want full capacity guns. So yeah, that's AR-10 large frame gas guns. They'll work 308, 243, 6.5 Creedmoor, 6 Creedmoor, any of those standard large frame calibers. Moving over into bolt guns, I've got kind of 2 of what is standard now. We have AICS pattern magazines from both Magpul as well as Modular Driven Technologies. The cool thing about these is they both hold 12 rounds. The standard Magpuls are 10 and 5. This one has a magazine extension on it, but the Modular Driven Technology magazine is actually a 12 rounder. So as you can see, it's significantly smaller, holds the same capacity, and it's a standard magazine. Like there's no upgrades to it. You buy it, shove it in the gun, it works. No need to tune feed lips, none of that good jam. Will work with anything in the same cartridge range as your gas gun, large frame gas gun. So 243, 6.5, 6mm, 308, all those. So that's all the rifle stuff. Let's move that out of the way. We're going to come over to the 9mm pistol magazines. I'm a huge fan, especially in handguns and defensive handguns, running OEM magazines. Here on the table, we've got a Glock factory magazine with a +5 extension. We also have a G48 mag. I'm a huge fan of the G48, single stack 10 round. Bad Larry is nice. And then we've got the 15 round, super tiny 365 XL mags. 15 rounds, super robust, all metal, where the other ones are polymer with a metal lining. So guys with 365 XLs, you got us in the capacity game. I still think the Glock shoots a little bit better, but that's me. And then 9mm subguns. The Sig Sauer MPX mags. Come in a couple different colors, metal reinforced feed lips. They are a staggered dual feed magazine, so you'll see them oscillate on the sides. You can get magazine extensions from Terran and a number of other companies. So that's kind of a quick rundown. We're going to go ahead and slide these off, come back, and we're going to talk about loading procedures, and then we're going to talk about life cycle. And yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes. And we're back. All right, so this section might seem a little bit dumbed down, but this is for guys that are getting into MSRs as well as maybe into bolt guns. I'm going to give you a quick loading procedure. These magazines are super simple. People like me can even figure it out, so that's a huge benefit. 5.56, both the small mags and then the AR-10 mags load exactly the same. So if you look here at the top, there's a gap. Take your piece of brass and just simply push straight down. Boom and boom. Real easy, real simple. As you can see, they are staggered, so they'll load one side to the other, to the other, to the other. I see a lot of guys trying to fight it and push down and then back when it's just simply push through the top. So that's 5.56. 308s and large frame stuff are easy. Boom, done. I make sure I give it a little pull back so that way it's seated to the rear. Boom, done. And last one. So easy. These magazines are simple. Anybody can do it. Women, children, and like I said, special people like myself can even figure it out. The one that's a little more difficult is the AI mags. These ones do require a little bit of finesse. So generally what I do is I'll take my non-dominant hand, this being my left, and I'll put it on a hard surface, grasp it, these 4 fingers, both thumb and the 3 in the front, press down with my pointer, use the round, get it down under the feed lips, and then push it straight back. I always make sure that any magazine I'm using, I give a hard strike to the back just so that every round seats to the rear. I know it seems kind of dumb. I know it's super basic, but there are people that don't know, and I hope that information helps. So hang tight, and we'll be back, and I'm going to go over life cycle stuff, and that's really going to blow some minds. All right, I appreciate you guys sticking around. This last segment, we're going to talk about life cycle. Every magazine has a life cycle. I don't know what that number is. Most people don't, but eventually these magazines will give up the ghost. They're consumable. They're like tires on your vehicle. After a certain amount of mileage, you've just worn them out. And what do? You don't fix them. You take them, throw them away. They're consumable. They're super cheap. Always have replacements. I try to always have an extra 5 that are in packaging, laying around, so that way if one dies on the range, cut open the bag and keep going. Some tips and tricks to save and to give you the max amount of life out of a magazine. If you load a magazine, leave it loaded. Nothing hurts these springs. They don't take sets. Like this magazine's probably been loaded for 2 years. It'll work just as well as the day it was new. What ruins magazines, and it doesn't matter what kind, they all work the exact same. They're not magic, is the constant load and unload, load and unload. It puts wear on the springs and it accelerates the actual deterioration of the magazine. So if you want to keep a magazine loaded, keep it loaded. Don't worry about getting home and having to unload everything. Throw it in a locked place, whether it be a safe or a foot locker, and keep it in there. You save your thumbs next time you go to a range trip. So yeah, if you have them loaded, leave them loaded. If you want to leave magazines unloaded, then don't worry, like just shoot it. Shoot it, go have fun. Make sure at the end of the day you throw all your empty magazines in one spot. But yeah, that's it. There's no saving these. Once a magazine is gone, throw it away. Don't keep it around. And I generally will take a hammer and crush them because I don't want somebody to come after the fact and find one of my magazines that is bad and then have the same problems that I was. It's a karma thing for me. So yeah, if this AI mag dies, smack it with a hammer, chuck it in the trash. It'll never be used again. Will never cause anybody else a headache. So I appreciate everything. If you guys need anything or you have any questions about anything we've talked about today, feel free to give us a call and shoot us an email and check us out at Big Daddy Unlimited.